Who's ready to get a little bit better? You should just shout yes wherever you're at right now because you can. I am. I'm ready to get a little bit better. And let's talk about a question. Again, this one's kind of a little bit underlined, but how do I create my best life? Coincidentally, I just wrote a Amazon International best-selling book with a mentor friend of mine, Bill Walton, and the book is called Creating Your Best Life, Discovering Your God-Given Potential. It's a great book. You want me to sum up the book for you in a nutshell? If you want to create your best life, you're going to have to shift your expectation and realize that you have the power to create your best life and begin to create a new level of certainty around that. You're going to have a lot of things to do. But if you don't shift your expectation that you can, in fact, live your best life, you're never going to have your best life. One of my daily affirmations is my best life is sustainable and I'm living it every day. I'm not waiting for some moment in the future when I make all the gains, or excuse me, when I close all the gap, for those of you that watch some of those videos, like, oh, it's way out there. No. Like, I'm living in the gains today and my best life is sustainable every day. My expectation is to experience my best life, that good things come, that favor comes, that opportunities come. So the book really drives that home. But on the back end of the book, the last chapter, we talk about one of the most essential components of creating your best life. And it's the one that a lot of people miss, they neglect, they diminish the importance of it, they do not prioritize it. And when we wrote the book and Bill and I came together, and Bill literally has been building this concept for 25 years and living it. And he knew he was supposed to write this book and like finally capture it all and put it in one place and like break it down step by step. Literally, we give you a step-by-step process for creating, manifesting your best life. It's powerful. But there was a missing piece. And when Bill and I came together, there was just this synergy and this click because the part that he had this journey and this revelation really of like this process. But the missing piece was some people could hear him teach that and they take it and run with it. But that is the minority, not the majority. And so he knew he needed to give people the support and the community necessary to be able to apply the principles and the teaching. And so that's the part that I got to come into the picture and bring that and come alongside him with. And so like Transformation Coaching, my company, is the exclusive provider of coaching services for people who want to create their best life. Thinking amazing. And so like, yeah, read the book, do the work, but you should also join the community. You should also join a mastermind that meets on a weekly basis. So how do you create your best life? You know what the answer is? Proximity. Like certainly you're going to have to shift your expectation. But if you don't level up your peer group, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, you're never going to be able to step into that best life that you've envisioned. No matter how firm your expectation is, you're going to have to level up your peer group. You're the average. These are statements that most of you have heard for a long time, but you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Your life will be the direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group. It's kind of interesting little play, right? Because the book was all about shifting your expectation. And now we're bringing that together with proximity. Proximity is power, that your life will be the direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group. So if you don't get around people that their expectations align with your expectations, and even their expectations pull you up to a higher level, you are never going to be able to create your best life the way that you envision it. So I thought I'd just give you a few points here, 3 or 4 here, about what happens when you level up that proximity. And I got some cool stories to share with you as I give this to you, but there's several things that begin to happen when you level up that peer group, when you get around a new environment of proximity. You put yourself around the right people who are thinking and living and achieving at a higher level. Like not just that, but they're walking in another level of joy and fulfillment. They're living in their purpose. They're living on purpose. Like what happens when you start getting around those people that are intentional about making the world a better place, not just making their life better? Well, a few things happen. Number one, your wins increase. You level up your wins. What do I mean by win? Like, this is language that I use constantly. Every single mastermind call, most of my coaching calls that I start, I say, what are your wins? In fact, I don't just do it on coaching, just about every family dinner on an evening basis. I asked my kids, we were sitting in a Mexican restaurant last night, and I said, what are your wins, kids? And one of them had the audacity to say, I don't know. I was like, we'll wait, son. Come on, bring me your, like, my kids know how to find their wins. But in this application, your wins level up. Let me illustrate this on a mastermind call this past week. And one of my friends, clients, members of the mastermind, he had a pretty cool win. He closed on it. He's a business broker, closed on an extremely large multi-million dollar deal. And his commission was substantial. And I'm trying to remember, what was it? It was, oh yeah, because it wasn't just one, it was two different deals. It came in this week, $602,000. $602,000. Because he said $500,000, then he came back, he did the math while we were talking. He's like, actually, excuse me, Mark, I'm sorry. It's actually not $500,000, it's $602,000 was the commission check he received this week, which is pretty cool, right? That's a cool win. Like, I mean, like, who wants to go after that guy? Like, that's an awesome win. But he also shared that paled in comparison to receiving a video from his daughter leading worship on stage in their church this past week. See, money was a win, but the relationship, the family component, the fulfillment, the purpose, like, that was bigger. And so that was the win. Well, then I get a call. This is just cool progression. I get a text yesterday from another guy in that same group who was like, man, I got to level up my wins after the call last week. And so he texted me yesterday. He's like, hey, Mark, guess what? I had a $102,000 day of sales. Wasn't the commission check, but $102,000 day of sales. And I was like, 602, 102. Like, my boy's wins leveled up because of proximity. And so when you get around the right people, all of a sudden, the wins you're achieving, the things, the targets that you're going after, they become bigger. And again, this is not all about money. Like, we're talking about impact, we're talking about influence, we're talking about family, legacy and fulfillment, all these things. These are wins. And so I remember another call, just to give you an illustration that it's not always about the money. One of the guys is like, hey, I'm started writing notes to my wife every day. And I leave them in different places. Started writing notes to my wife every day and seeing the impact on her. And he said, I also started sending text messages to my teenage daughters. And to see the ripple effect that others heard that win, and they wanted some of that. And then they come back and say, hey, I didn't do it the exact way, but I did this that was very similar to what he did. And like, the relationship's enhancing, it's growing. So your wins level up. Number two, what else levels up? Your mindset levels up. Now, I mean, that kind of, I stepped on my microphone. Your mindset levels up. See, when you're in an environment where people are talking about big things and doing big things, not just talking about, but doing big things and increasing their level of generosity, increasing all these different things, like, you don't get away from the fact that there's a scarcity, poverty mentality, and there's an abundance and wealth mentality. And those two mentalities could not be further removed from each other. And so I believe that the universe is abundant. I believe that some people have this fixed pie mentality. Like, if you take a slice of the pie, they believe that means there's less for them. Because you got a slice, that means there's less pie for me. I don't believe that. I believe in abundance. I believe there's more than enough pie for all of us, and there's more than enough to go around. Like, so if you get blessed, then that doesn't mean there's less blessing or less abundance. It just means there's an increase and an overflow. There's more than enough for all of us. So when you get around people that aren't always scared and operating in fear and operating in scarcity, you begin to level up your mindset. And when you think different and you believe the universe is abundant, all of a sudden you start behaving differently. You start interacting with people differently. You make different decisions in your business, and your mindset is irrevocably leveled up. So your wins level up, your mindset levels up, your intentionality levels up. This is good. I'm going to give you two more. Intentionality, I'll give you one more after that. So that guy that got the $102,000 $100,000 day of sales. Check it out. So he had a couple sales come in and he was just shy of 100,000. But he had in the back of his mind like big wins on the calls and like hitting that six-figure milestone. And you know what? He was not content with a $99,000 something or other. He was like, team, we crossing that six-figure mark. And he got on the phone and it ended up him making a call, several $1,000s, like so he could cross over. What is that? That is intentionality. That is urgency. Listen, if you want to create your best life, it doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. You've got to level up your intentionality. And when you get around other people who have leveled up their intentionality, their urgency, doesn't matter if they hired a virtual assistant and then you're like, oh, wait, I'm going to do that. Had another guy, he was like, you know what? I want to clear a path for my wife to thrive. And that was on one mastermind call. I lead about 10 mastermind calls every single week, plus calls that I lead in my own community. And that one statement, I'm going to clear a path for my wife to thrive, rippled into several different mastermind calls because I was quoting the guy because I was like, that's awesome. And how did he clear a path for his wife to thrive? She was working, they got a new baby in their house and she's working, I can't remember what the project is, but he hired someone to come in and take care of the baby 2 times a week just for a couple hours so that he could give her more space. And you know what? Several other people hired some help to clear a path for their spouse to thrive. And so like those are the kind of levels of intentionality that you get around people that have different options and different opportunities, and all of a sudden it makes you level up your intentionality. So you level up your wins, you level up your mindset, you level up your intentionality, and lastly, this is good, I saved the best one. I don't know if this is the best one, it's just fun. You level up the experiences in your life. So you begin to level up the experiences, the things that you do, the places that you go. Yes, and right now I'm talking about those fun things, those awesome experiences that not like other people say, oh, that's a once in a lifetime thing, and you're like, nope, it's just a Tuesday. In fact, one of my clients, he had an event out of state, and there was a wedding and a business conference that he was going to, and so he needed to rent a vehicle. So he did not rent a Toyota Camry. He did not rent the Chevy Impala. You know what he rented? He rented a Rolls Royce. Now, here's the thing. The same guy actually shared this with me this week. He said, listen, there's 2 kinds of flex. And he heard it from somebody else. I don't remember who it was, but there's 2 kinds of flex. Some people flex because they want to roll up in a Rolls Royce and they want to feel important because they're in a Rolls. And they want the recognition. They want to feel significant because of that. But other people, they're going to roll up in a Rolls Royce, not because they need to feel significant, but because of, listen to this, the conversations that it's going to lead to. Like, don't flex to make yourself feel better and feel all significant and important. You're going to flex. Do some awesome stuff because of the conversations it's going to lead to. Like one of my other clients who's literally going to fly a private jet, go to the Masters, and have an awesome week-long experience. You know what? That's not about a flex of like, oh, look at me and how cool I am, and I spend No. It's going to lead to conversations that are transformative. In fact, actually, I'm just remembering this. When my boy rolled up in the Rolls, he and another client went out for a round of golf, and literally they said, we had $1 million conversations as we went around on that round of golf. See, it's not about the stuff. It is about the conversations, the connections, the relationships that those things can lead you to because you put yourself in a new environment. Somebody else began to see you in a new light, and that led to some conversations that created new opportunities. So, you want to create your best life? You're not going to do it without leveling up your proximity, leveling up your peer group. And when you do that, you're going to level up your wins. You're going to level up your mindset. You're going to level up your intentionality. And you're going to level up the experiences that lead to the right conversations. Bigger conversations about impact, bigger conversations about generosity and how can we change the world because of what we're doing in building. So I hope this served you. My challenge, you want to get practical? Do something this week that puts you in a new proximity. Offer to buy somebody lunch or coffee. Go eat at a fancy restaurant. Go drive through that fancy neighborhood that you like. That's like you've like, oh, like that's where those people. No. Listen, expose yourself to this new proximity and just see if your thinking doesn't begin to change. Because when you put yourself in abundance, you begin to think and see abundance at a higher level. So I hope this served you. You guys are awesome. You should get off this video right now and go out there and give your greatness to the world because somebody needs what's on the inside of you. Don't hold it back. Go give it away. I love y'all. Have a great week.